Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Debert 2101 GMT with the Batman bezel and the NH34 movement. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing a U1001, which also has a Batman bezel. That's two Batmans. It's like a bad episode of the 60s show where Robin has to decide who's the real Batman. And Grogo is wearing my Oakston, and I don't remember the reference number, but it's an Oakston. Grogu is wondering why everyone is upset that Kino Loy wasn't able to escape the prison factory in Andor. He says it's appropriate that the floor captain went down with the shift. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. The watch did not come with a box. It did not come with an unsigned warranty card. It did not come with a hang tag. It just came in a little plastic bag. And that is it. So you got nothing with this watch but the watch. This is the first Debert on my channel. I had never heard of the name, and the AliExpress ad was sure pushing the custom logo option. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, we don't do the custom logo option on this channel. There was also a sterile dial option, but I don't like doing sterile dials either. So I went with the Debert name. I picked up the Batman. There is also a Pepsi, Coke, black, and green option. The green is not a left-hander. Unpolished oyster bracelets were also the only option, which is unusual because most GMT master homages have a Jubilee option. I paid $99 for it and looks like it's currently going for $93. This is the first watch on this channel with the new Seiko NH34 GMT movement, which is the main reason why I ordered this watch and the same reason why I bumped it ahead of other watches to get this review in. Then NH34 is a game changer for automatic GMT watches in this price range. As before, the only option was the Dangzhou DG5833, which doesn't have the best reputation in the world. I could have got a Pagani design for about $40 more, but I decided to get this Debert since my main concern was the movement. So far, I consider this Debert to be a small step above the Pagani design in build quality. The watch is 40.5 millimeters at the bezel, and the bezel slightly overhangs the case. It's 48.4 millimeters lug to lug, 53 if you count the protruding male end links. It's 13.2 millimeters thick if you don't count the Cyclops, and I never do. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and weighs 151 grams on the supplied bracelet with 2 links removed. The bezel is 120 click unidirectional. Yes, I know GMT watches should have 48 click bidirectional, but this one does not. Most GMT homages in this price range do not because they share parts with their diver counterparts. But the bezel action is good. It's not too light, not too stiff, and there doesn't seem to be much back play, and everything seems to line up just fine. So I like the bezel action. The insert's ceramic, and it's a very nice looking ceramic insert. I mean, compare it to this U1001 and it just looks a little bit better. Then the dial, we have Debert up top. And then on the bottom, it's got GMT in red. I always wondered why they use red in a black dial because you can hardly see it. But that's what they do. Then it says automatic, water resistant, and 100 meters. So I don't know, once again, why they say water resistant and give the depth rating, because if you give the depth rating, it implies water resistant, and you could probably take a line out and not make the dial look so cluttered, but that's a minor gripe. Then the indices are your basic GMT master style with dots and batons and a triangle up top. Then the hands too are your basic GMT master style with the Mercedes hour hand, fence post minute hand, and then a second hand with a lollipop. Then we have a date at the 3 with a Cyclops, and as you can see, the Cyclops does a very good job of magnifying. The date seems to fill the entire Cyclops, so that's good. No matter how you feel about a Cyclops, if you're going to have one, then it should magnify pretty good. Otherwise, what's the point? The crown is unsigned, and I imagine that's because of the custom logo option. Then when you unscrew it, there's a nice pop, so you'll always know when it's out. Then on the second position here is when you can set the date or the GMT hand. If you go down, it's the date. If you go up, it's the GMT hand. And the GMT hand jumps every hour because this is an NH34. The Dangzhou DG5833 does not jump every hour, and it's a smooth progression. So this is always preferable because it takes a lot less effort to set the GMT hand. But there is one drawback. If you look right here, when we go all the way up top here, as you can see, the GMT hand is just a hair out of line, and there's nothing you can do to fix that other than pull the hands. And I don't know if this was a quality control issue with Debert or if just a matter of these movements get out of alignment. This is my first NH34. The crown action is good. When you screw it back down, everything, the threads catch instantly and you don't feel any resistance when you screw down, so it's really nice thread action. The crystal is sapphire. It's a flat. I got out the diamond tester just to make sure because I never dealt with Debert before, and yes, it is sapphire. The case is solid steel oyster style, and it's polished on the sides, circular brush tops and bottom. This is pretty standard for this style of watch. And then we have crown guards, of course. Then the case back is a coin edge Rolex style with no writing or anything like that. I'm not a big fan of this style of case back because you need special tools to open it. Yes, you can use tape, you can use one of them balls, you can use other things other than the proper tools, but I just wish it had slots for a case back wrench. And once again, there's no writing here, and it is a screw down, it's not a fake, and we get 100 meters of water resistance. Then underneath the case back is the NH34 movement. This is once again a big game changer in the of this $100 price range type GMT watch. It is a preferable movement to the Dangzhou DG5833, which just does not have the reliability of this Seiko movement. Of course, this is a new movement, but it's based off the NH35, which has been the workhorse movement among affordable watches for a long time now. This is a 3 Hz movement that hand winds, hacks, and has a bidirectional rotor. And I'm assuming it's a 24 joule movement, just like the NH35. But let's go ahead and put it on the Timegrapher and see what it looks like. Here it is on the Timegrapher, and as you can see, the numbers are excellent. 0 plus 2, just a beat error of 0.1 millisecond, and the amplitude is not great, but it's at least healthy. So yeah, this movement is running spot on, so I'm very impressed with that. So I don't know if Debert actually regulates their movements or not, but man, this one's running good. The bracelet is oyster style with solid end links, and unlike most oyster style bracelets on a GMT homage, this one has brushed center links and not polished. Personally, I prefer the brushed. I just think it looks nicer than the polished, but that's just a personal preference. I would have been fine if it would have had polished links too. And once again, there was no Jubilee option, which is kind of surprising because Rolex was only doing Jubilees for a long time on their GMTs. And so a lot of the homage watches always have Jubilees as an option, but this one does not. Then this one has screw pin adjusters. And I had to remove 2 links to fit on my wrist. Usually when I remove the links, I try to do it evenly. On this case though, one side of the bracelet seemed to have more links than the other, so I removed them both on one side of the bracelet to even everything out. Then we have the clasp. The clasp has some kind of form of glide lock, and this clasp is nice. It seems to be well built, very sturdy, and there's a nice click to it when you close it. And this fold over seems to be thicker and sturdier than the ones from Pagani Design, and it really locks it down there. There's no way anybody could ever get this off your wrist without you knowing it. Then once again, we have this glide lock style, so you just pull it out and then you can move it however you want it, then just press it back in. This one seems to be a little bit well built compared to some of the glide lock style clasps I've reviewed before. I really like it. I think this clasp is a step up from, let's say, Pagani Design. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Once again, it looks really nice, wears nice, it's comfortable, wears flat. It doesn't seem like it's 13 millimeters thick. Here we are in the Lume room. Let's see how the Lume does. Just wearing the watch, I wasn't blown away with the Lume, but did notice that it had some. As we speed up the time, the GMT hand fades immediately. However, the rest of the watch is going okay. At least the hands are as good as the indices. But look at that second hand lollipop. Too bad everything else isn't as good. This is by no means great Lume, but I would at least rank it as decent. It is comparable to the left-handed Pagani Design I reviewed not too long ago. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like the fact that I'm getting an NH34 movement on a $100 watch. That's kind of hard to believe now, especially since the movement just came out. I like this nice ceramic bezel. It looks really nice. And I like the fact, I like this clasp with the glide lock, and it's really sturdy. What are my gripes and groans? Misaligned GMT hand. Sometimes when I pull the crown, it can be kind of difficult to get it in the right position. And I wish it didn't have a coin edge caseback. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. At the time of this review, this is the cheapest NH34 power GMT on AliExpress. This would be a great watch with a DG5833 in it, so it's even a better watch with the Seiko NH34. I highly recommend it. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Debert 2101 GMT with an NH34 movement, and I will be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.